I'll deconstruct some of the things that I was doing there. So this will be 3-note per string scales. You can refer to the PDF linked in the description below the video. So you'll see all those boxes around the different 3-note per string scales. So what I decided to do in this video is I'm kind of thinking of the note in the middle as the root, the third, the fifth, and the flatted seventh of the G minor. So I'm doing like this G, kind of G Dorian vamp as my backing track. So then this is a device that I like to use. Some of the jazz players, they talk a lot about these enclosures and things like that. So this is, for all practical purposes, a melodic enclosure of each of the chord tones. Right, so then I'm just going to go from there, and I'm going to land on different chord tones. There I'm landing on the fifth, landing on the root, landing on the fifth, landing on the root again, and then here I just decided to land on the 9 because I thought it sounded good. You can think of these as melodic motifs based on the 3-note per string scale. That'd be like the first box there on the PDF. And the D, and then last one. So you can really land on any of those notes to end the phrase. Okay, so then here I'm going to the next box here. Across, so the A, B flat. So I'm starting from the B flat, which is the third of the G minor. Okay, and then going up to the seventh of that G minor. Then back to the flatted third. Now there, that would sound a little bit unresolved, so I could have gone. I think what I just resolved back to the fifth of the chord. Okay, so then I went to the next position. That's around the C, D. All right, so that's around the fifth of that chord. So there I'm landing on the 9. Sorry. That's the fifth of the G, and then one more. Right, I think I sometimes landed there. Sometimes I landed on the F, the flat 7. Or a sound that I like to use a lot is this 6th to flatted 7th bend. Right, so do like a wide vibrato, so you're kind of getting back and forth between the 6 and the flat 7. Okay, and then last but not least is the one around E, F. So this is around the flat 7 of the G minor. F, C. So that's kind of a little bit more suspenseful with the sus4. So that's the flat 7. And back to the third. So that's essentially what I was doing there with the 3-note per string scales. Just doing some melodic motifs. You can think of that first thing as an enclosure based on the G, B flat, D, and F of the G minor 7th chord. Okay, I think that's all I'll do about with the 3-note per string scale. So the next topic will be modal pentatonic. So I'll go ahead and play through some ideas, and then I'll explain what I was doing along with the jam track. Okay, so now I'll talk about those modal pentatonics. So I'll just quick stories. I've talked about this before. So back when I used to go to the library, dial-up modem, and you would have to, if you didn't have your own computer, you'd go and surf the internet and check in at the library. So I ran across this site called ibreathemusic.com. I found out later it was some former GIT students, and they talked about this concept of modal pentatonic. So I wrote all the information down, and I went home and I kind of tried to figure out what the heck are they talking about. So the way they described it is you take like Dorian mode, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, G. If you take out the second and sixth notes of the scale, you have your modal pentatonic. So G, B flat, C, D, you take out E, F, G, so you basically end up with your G minor pentatonic. Now the other ones weren't so obvious as I was looking at them. So as I looked at them more and more, I realized that if I just use this pattern, F, G, B flat, C, D, starting on the seventh of each of the modes, I could come up with a system of pentatonic. So the first one, F, G, B flat, C, D, G minor pentatonic, based on the first root of the chord. F, G, B flat, C, D, F, G, B flat, C, D. Okay, so the next one's going to be B flat. So this is going to be, A, B flat, D, E, F. This is around a B flat major seventh chord. So you can think of it like the way I described it, take your B flat mode, take out the second and sixth, or you can also think of it as a B flat major seventh chord, B flat, D, F, A, and then you add in the fourth from that mode. Okay, so that's just another way of thinking about it. So A, B flat, D, E, F, A, B flat, D, E, F, A, B flat, D, E, F. Okay, so then I'm still thinking this is G minor riff. Okay, so now B flat, now I'm going to D. So in this key, the D is going to be just a regular old D minor pentatonic scale. C, D, F, G, A, C, D, F, G, A, C, D, F, G, A. So a lot of people talk about this. So I'm on a G minor chord. If I play D minor pentatonic, I get that 9 sound. Okay, so it's kind of a cool way of expanding your playing if all you know is minor pentatonic. If you just play the minor pentatonic based off the fifth of a minor seventh chord, you automatically will just get that 9 sound. Okay, and then one more of these. So this is going to be G, B flat, D, F. Now F major. So you have F, A, C, E, and then the F Ionian has a 4, which is the B flat, which is the natural 4. So the F major seventh, modal pentatonic, E, F, A, B flat, C, E, F, A, B flat, C, E, F, A, B flat, C. All right, so these are really, really useful. I'll just talk just really briefly about a cool way you can use these is if you wanted to create a harmony part. Like let's say, where's a good one? Okay, let's say you're right here. Which is basically G minor pentatonic. So if you went to the next modal pentatonic up, so if you had like a keyboard or another guitar player, whatever they do here, you just do a similar thing here. So let's say I'm on this. All right, so I just take that, that's a very standard kind of guitar lick. I do the same thing here. See how that works? Right, so you can kind of create these different kind of harmony parts just by using the modal pentatonic and doing a similar fingering. Okay, I think that's all I'll do with modal pentatonics. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is playing up and down single strings. So for today, I'm just going to play up and down on the G string and then up and down on the D string. Okay, so all I'm doing there is I'm just playing the notes up and down on the different strings. So I'll just do just very briefly. I'll just do the notes up on the G string. So G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. Backwards, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G. And then what I was mostly doing on the G and the D is I'm just kind of randomly just dropping in the open string. Okay, so different things I was doing. So just trying to create like a nice rhythm, 1 E and a 2 E and then just kind of dropping in one note, sometimes two notes. Right, and then I was sometimes doing 3 notes. And then just different things like that. I also do a 4th string here. So say note names D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, C, B flat, A, G, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, E, D. Yeah, and then I was also just kind of just randomly just landing on different notes. Right, I think toward the end of the demonstration, I was kind of purposely landing on notes that aren't really in the chord, like the A, and then I think I also ended on the C just to create a little bit of a tension. Okay, and then exactly what I was doing, it would be really hard to explain, but you basically you just take your open G, your open D, and then either add in 1 note or 2 notes or 3. Right, and then once you get a little bit better at this, you can maybe a different kind of legato. And things like that. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to say about that. So I think to end off today, I'll just do a basic ending improvisation like I always do. I don't have anything particularly planned. I'll use some of these ideas. I might just play some cage stuff or just some standard kind of bends and things like that, and just kind of see what happens. Okay, thanks for listening and watching.